United States President Donald Trump's sentencing in his New York hush money case is set for the 18th of September, but a delay is likely due to the recent developments. Lawyers suggest that the Supreme Court's July decision on presidential immunity could impact the timing. Prosecutors, while not opposing Trump's request for a delay until after the November election, have deferred to judge of the New York State Supreme Court on the matter. Trump's defense argues that there isn't enough time to appeal the ruling on overturning the conviction due to the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court found presidents cannot be prosecuted for official acts which could influence the case. Trump was convicted in May for falsifying records related to a $130,000 payment to American film actress Stormy Daniels, and he plans to appeal the verdict once sentenced.
The Supreme Court's immunity decision is playing the greatest role right now in the potential for there being a delay. And the reason is because this court, the trial court, has to decide whether or not the Supreme Court's decision in any way affects the jury's decision in the New York State Court. And so because of that, we have to see what the judge in this court does.
Throughout the course of this prosecution and throughout the course of the trial, Judge Marchand has really displayed a very no-nonsense approach, and he has taken the position on the record that the political consequences of this case are not for him to consider. In other words, he has viewed this case as he would any other criminal case. And the fact that the defendant here is somebody who is the Republican nominee for president does not factor into his decision-making. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he allows the defense team to seek an adjournment of the sentencing, which is based primarily on the question that it is too close to the election.
So there's a couple reasons why I think the sentencing will be delayed. The first is because now we've received the submission from the prosecutor's office, and the prosecutor's office has not opposed a delay, right? So Trump has already gotten over one hurdle, which is having the prosecutor's office really almost agree with him, although they're deferring to the court. In essence, they're agreeing with his request because they're not opposing it. The other reason that I think there's a good chance that there will be a delay is because the court cannot proceed with the sentencing, should not proceed with the sentencing if there are any outstanding issues. And given the decision that the court is expected to make on September 16th, it's very likely that there will be outstanding issues. And so because of that, the parties should be able to fully litigate, both sides should be able to fully litigate those issues before they go into sentencing.
So I think it's likely that Judge Marchand is going to agree with the Manhattan DA's office that the conduct for which the former president was convicted all involved conduct before he was president, and therefore is not protected by that Supreme Court immunity decision. And to the extent there was any testimony about things that happened after he became president or in connection with the campaign, that really ultimately did not determine the outcome of the case. Well, I think what we're seeing from the Manhattan DA is an attempt to not appear too political with this prosecution. They're really trying to straddle the line. So they're not agreeing with the Trump defense team that the sentencing should be delayed, but they're also not taking a position that it should proceed as scheduled on September 18th. They're leaving it up to the judge to make it appear that it's not really a political decision, it's a judicial decision.